right. This
I get
is
money. I
session
get a
0 of Innocence Lost from the perspective of Pharnox. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, that wasn't an ominous title.
This is the player Anita who will be taking on the character Pharnox.
Hello. Pharnox is Drow Bard from Varsia.
Varisia.
Is Varsia.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, I had a little thing on my screen. And
Do you have a voice for Pharnox?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. And is Pharnox, if Pharnox is a he?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Description?
silver hair, white eyes, tall.
All right. Sounds good, good, good. We start in the town of Nestone. Nestone is a small town that has a population of about 1,500, with 70% humans, 15% dwarves, 10% gnomes, and 5% other races. You are there with your 2 party members, including Sonard, who is a halfling, and he is a ranger. And you also are there with Freyla, who is a human, and she is a druid. So we have Pharnox, Sonard, and Freyla for our party. You and Sonard and Freyla have all been adventuring together for the last level about 6 months to a year or so, and you've become quite close. And you think that Sonard has a little bit of a thing for Freyla, but she won't acknowledge him because he's a halfling and is small.
So I'm just the third wheel here.
Now you are you've actually become close friends with Freyla over over the adventures where Freyla has stood up for you when others have looked down on you for your race. And Sonard has definitely saved your hindquarters a time or two by sniping an enemy from behind. Um, so you're a quite close knit party actually. Um, and so you find yourselves in this town of Nestone, and Nestone is actually known for um, being an adventurer's town. It's very famous in this country for the adventurers, and it is a good place to prove yourself when starting out. And there always seems to be a quest to do around this area. Nestone is governed mainly by a few wealthy families that often end their political meetings with drunken brawls. The town boasts excellent breweries, fertile farmlands, and a magnificent clockmaker's shop built inside an old manor called Vonda's Clocks. In the adventurers district, surrounded by winding streets and busy shops, your party finds yourself at the Heroes Ale House, a hot spot for quest postings. The ale house is nestled between a library and a confectioner's shop. Would you like to go inside?
Sure.
All right. You step in to the tavern. The building itself is a two-story, half-timbered inn containing several small rooms with wooden cots, a common area with many hammocks, and a stable in the back with room for a few horses. The main bar area has well-made wooden tables and chairs. The innkeeper is an extra stout dwarf. He seems to have once been an adventurer based on the trophies behind him. You see that there is a menu listed on a board, and you also noticed that there is a quest board with many listings. What would you like to do first?
I would like to look over at the quest board.
The quest board has a variety of tasks, however, they are all relatively low pay.
Of course they are.
Sonard snorts at the board and is like, that won't even get me a new quiver.
I guess it's something for the people just starting out.
Yes, but I want some gold. And then, almost as if he were summoned by these words, a hooded figure appears from the shadows. You want some gold, you say? Sonard stands up on his tippy toes as he does sometimes when he's trying to look big and intimidating, and says, yes, we do. And Freyla seems to nod in agreement behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And the hooded figure says, well, I have a quest for you then, if you're willing to accept.
This is going to get us in trouble again, isn't it? Well, let's see.
There is a local dungeon that requests a group of adventurers to come take care of some of the creatures within so that local scholars might explore the ruins and figure out any secrets that may be late. What do you
Okay.
say?
I'm a little curious why it's not on the quest board, but sure, why not?
Oh, you know, it's one of those last minute things. It has yet to be written down with ink on paper. Today.
That moment in your head, whether you're questioning whether or not this character just doesn't know how to write. Well, I mean, if it's fine with you guys and it's what you really want to do.
Sonard says, "Well, where's the money? How much money are we getting?" And Freyla says, "What kind of creatures might we be encountering?" To which the hooded figure replies, "How about the sum of 500 gold apiece? And the creatures that need to be taken care of in this dungeon just so happen to be undead."
Did the audio just cut out, or did you actually say what the creature was?
Undead is what I said. I just didn't
Oh.
want to say it too loud because of the people in the inn don't like to hear that word. It makes them uncomfortable, I think. Anyways, there are some undead to take care of, and I think that I can pay you 500 apiece if you take this here key. And he holds out a little long fingered hand with a little key in between the thumb and the index finger out to you and says, "This is the key to my room, and once you have brought me back proof that you have cleared all of the undead out of the dungeon, I am happy to pay you the money. However, if you try to enter my room without the proof, it will be most unfortunate."
Of course. And Pharnox takes the key from him
Okay.
and hands it to the halfling. It's just like, chances are he'll find the door first.
Okay. Sonard takes it and pockets it and puffs out his chest and goes up to the bar and orders some of the house ale. "For courage before our trip."
Pharnox is just wondering what he's been roped into again. Otherwise, everything's fine.
And the hooded figure, before melting into the crowd, says, "Make sure to take the route from the south."
Okay, south route. Pharnox is just like writes it down in his little journal. It
Okay,
is full of weird scribbles.
gotcha. Do you need any time to prepare?
Let's see. Um, Leave. I have everything. If the party's prepared, then
Freyla and Sonard seem ready.
okay.
Freyla looks as if she is uh, moving her staff in a way as if she were imagining whapping somebody on the head with it
Hmm.
and murmuring quietly to herself. And Sonard finishes his drink very quickly for someone his size.
Understandable. Um, yeah, no.
Would you like to ask
That's
around about the
yeah,
south route?
yeah. I'm going to start asking around, knowing the fact that like, which probably, uh, yeah,
So there's an
probably should ask
innkeeper here.
the inn
There's
first because
okay.
they're gonna have more information about the area.
Mhm.
I was like just slowly dreading this, like, oh, here I'm going to hear the spiel again.
Oi, welcome to Heroes Ale House. How may I suit your fancy?
So I was curious about what was in the area, specifically in regards to the south.
He seems to be looking more at Freyla next to you, who is looking at him over your shoulder. Um, and he seems to be staring straight through you almost.
Figures.
And Freyla is like, "Oh, uh, this one is speaking to you, sir, not me." You, she like hesitates, and he's like, "Which one?"
Honestly, the fact that Pharnox is like being considered invisible, like it just he actually does start to kind of laugh because he finds it a little ridiculous.
Sonard points up at you and is like, "This one, my friend here. He's a good fella, sir." And the innkeep looks from between Sonard and Freyla and seems to his eyes seem to pass straight through you as if you are literally invisible. And he has a look of confusion on his brow, and then a dawn of realization, and then he says, "I is your friend an elf of some kind?" And Prela says, "Yes, he is a drow." And the innkeep laughs at this and says, "Ah, that is why I cannot see him. I was cursed by a witch on my travels, and I cannot see or hear any elves, and apparently it works on drow too. Bless this curse."
Well, I guess if that's what you don't want to see, you don't see it.
Freyla conveys what the questions you were asking about the southern route, and he draws you a crude looking map with a blob of like almost like bushy looking stuff, kind of like as if he was sketching, scribbling out like a forest, um, using a pencil that looks like a piece of charcoaled vine tied to a stick for reinforcement, and uh, then shows a roughly drawn line from a blob that he marks as Nestone, and the line goes from the south side of Nestone into the south side of the other blob, which he says is the forest. He says if you go from the south entrance to along that way to the south of the forest, you should come upon the dungeon after not too long.
Okay.
And it is currently Thursday afternoon. Is there anything else you would like to do before you get started?
Um, I mean, not really. I mean, I can't exactly order food unless it's with assistance. And at a certain point, that just gets demeaning.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like relatively close, like,
Yeah, it looks like you'd probably be able to make it to the edge of the forest by the time nightfall approaches, or at least most of the way there.
we can head out now. I mean, we're just like before trouble is caused or comes to us.
All right, sounds good. The rest
Yeah.
of the party follows along in back out into the streets, and you, for getting the map from the innkeep, get a +3 on your survival checks be to keep your direction going to this dungeon. Um,
Okay.
all right, and you guys get going off on the road, and before long, you can see the edge of the forest, not too far away, but night is approaching, and Sonard suggests to set up camp.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
He
Uh,
volunteers to take first watch.
yeah. I actually have a character with perception, so yeah, I'll probably take like the next watch.
Okay, and then Freyla will take up the end since she has to prepare her spells in the morning anyway.
Mhm.
All right, your night is uneventful, and you continue on to the forest.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, go ahead and make a survival skill check to make sure you're still going the right way,
Yep.
facing the right direction, all that stuff.
Going with the tiny dice.
Mhm.
Open. Why is it in the box? Oh, there we go. Oop. Oh, there it goes. So tiny. You don't need 20. Here we go. There's. Okay. Okay, that's decent. That's decent. So that's going to be a solid 14.
And did you have the +3 from the map?
Yes.
Okay. You believe that you are going the correct way, and uh, you enter the forest and continue northward from your southern entry, and the rest of the party is pleasantly chatting with each other and reminiscing about old times when you come upon the entrance to the dungeon. You
Mhm.
can tell because there are ruins, there is an archway that is in front of what appears to be an open doorway. would you like to go inside?
Yeah, but I'd rather not be first.
Sonard will take the lead,
Yeah.
and Freyla will follow.
Yep. Okay, so we head in.
All right. Inside. Inside, the walls are reinforced masonry, and the ground is uneven cobble. It's dark within the entrance, seemingly sooner than you would expect this close to the sunlight of the outside world. The image I have on the screen now for the viewers is one of a dimly lit hallway with little fire lights along the side. However, that is not the case. It is dark in this hallway. As someone with low light vision and a human in your party, and I don't remember what kind of vision the halfling has, you might want to light a torch.
I cast dancing lights.
Oh, okay, that'll work.
Um, let's see.
You
Uh,
guys
let's see.
enter.
I can hear my family in the background. People started coming home from work.
Oh, I couldn't really hear them for a second. Hold on. Um, so the as you enter into the hallway more, you actually notice that it is smelling kind of old and musty in here, and the air is colder than it was when you were outside. And you guys continue down the corridor with uh, no incident at first, but after a few turns and a couple of halls, Sonard says, "Look alive!" As he hears some sort of a noise. Freyla grips her quarterstaff tightly between her hands and backs up away from the direction that Sonard is looking, and behind her appears an undead and bites into her arm. Sonard rushes to help her, and as he approaches, so does another undead, and then another, and then another, and yet even more continue to come. And as you and your party fight the hardest that you possibly can, you are eventually backed into a dead end, and you watch as your party falls at your feet, and you are the last one standing. And that is where we will end the session for today.
That took a turn.
Yes, yes, it did. um,
I,
and
I knew we were going to
that,
be. I knew we were going to be recording. Didn't realize session 0 was going to be recorded.
yes, this is session 0. Um, that has been the recording of session 0 from Pharnox's point of view of Innocence Lost.